From Marianne, thank you for submitting tickets. Outlook requires password. I cannot log into my email, into my mails, because Outlook suddenly requires a password. It has never necessarily, it was never necessarily, it was never necessary to type in a password. I don't get it. Please help me. I need my mails. So that's a great ticket. You may get this sometimes. Let's see. This is not Outlook, but this is, well, it's a pseudo Outlook. It's not real Outlook. This is what, they install on everybody's computer. And anyways, let's say this is Outlook and suddenly it's asking for a password. Usually this happens whenever you change your password and your computer hasn't gotten the new password from the domain. Your computer hasn't replicated the new password locally. So normally you don't have to log in all the time, right? It's just open like this. It's just open. It doesn't ask you for password. But however, if your credentials, like these here, look at this here, sample user 26 at outlook.com. If this is tied to your domain, let's say your domain name is, I don't know, funnycats.com. Let's say your company is funnycats.com, right? And it says, I don't know, Bob at funnycats.com. And suddenly it's asking for your password. Well, chances are your login is tied to your domain login, which has to be replicated locally. So if you already had this open and you haven't updated locally your new password that you've changed, probably changed. This is most of the time, this is where I've seen this issue where the password has been changed but hasn't been updated locally. All you have to do is just lock the computer like this and then unlock it. And then unlock it with whatever the password is. Whatever the new password is, right? And then once you unlock it, then it should replicate locally on your computer. And now when you open up Outlook or anything that uses domain credentials, it should work fine. Some programs you have to update the password manually. Like I've seen it in instant messengers mostly that sometimes use, I don't know, sometimes they don't like the update. But that's also known, what I'm talking about is also known as SSO, single sign-on system. That basically you need a single sign-on, like your single login ID and password for all the systems. So that's what I'm talking about, which is usually implemented in the business environments. So I'm going to contact the user and say, can you please lock your computer and then use your password to unlock it. So, and since I don't have a direct, I'm going to say this. This usually happens when a domain password has changed. I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to pretend that this actually resolved the issue. Because when it comes down to it, something has changed on your account. And as a help desk, you should be able to figure this out easily. You know, it's not a technical thing per se, you know, because it's simply asking for a new password. So it just needs to be updated and changed to do whatever the new one is. And one way to do it again is to replicate it locally. If not, you may have to put it in manual and hopefully it doesn't go, you know, hopefully it goes away. But that's what I would do. You might also want to reboot the computer afterwards in case the issue still keeps going. So I'm going to say resolve issue by updating password at local level. You know what? I'm going to say replicating. Replicating the new password at local level. I'm going to pretend like I fixed this and close it.